Hey, welcome to the podcast Growth Refined. I'm your host, Nicole Peterson. Thank you for being here and creating a space to welcome me in, to hit play. This episode is about grief lately. Join me. Let's go. Hey friends, welcome to Growth Refined. I'm so glad you're here. I don't know about you, but today is a rainy, cloudy day today. I'm not sure where you're at or what day it is or the time of day. Maybe it's dark where you're at right now, or maybe the sun is shining, but either way, God created today, and there's a reason why it looks the way it does today. We have to trust Him in that process, and we just give thanks for another beautiful day, whether we see it physically with our eyes or feel it spiritually with our bodies. We are given a new day. So I actually had a profound, revealing conversation of God's will for my life the other night from a really good friend that I respect and value immensely. And when you are given a revelation of what God has for you, it's just like this light bulb moment. You could just feel it on every inch of your body of just this awakening, this spiritual awakening. And I'm just so thankful for the people in my life. Now, as I share this episode, it is about my life lately and where I'm at in my grief. I hope that you can take what I share today to help you reflect on your own life, that it can hopefully reveal something to you or comfort you or touch you in some way that speaks to you as I share. But our conversations with the friend that I had this revelation with, they always have God in the center, and we always share our child loss that we have in common. This child loss that we both share also extends this sense of deep pain that we walk with every day. And so it's a matter of what we share is a matter of how we navigate every day with this pain, but also where we can find joy in each day and how we can live our life to its fullest. And as any good friend, we always ask one another, I'm sure you do this with your friends, how are you? Checking in your feelings and emotions. And not just, how are you? I'm good. But how are you really? Let's think about that, right? And I just value that, and I just love that because I'm a deep person anyway. So I would love to share my deep feelings with anyone who would ask, much alone a person I trust. And I said, to be quite honest, I actually have been walking mostly in peace each day lately, which has been great. All glory and thanks be to God because of that peace that I feel. Also, within my grief too, that there is a wound that is present. And now I'm only 2 years in, so I'm not sure where you are with your grief in losing your loved one, but I am still freshly in my mourning. So there is bitterness and sorrow, and there's anger too. And I actually have never realized that these negative feelings are actually always underlying present because of that wound that I carry. I do have hope that these negative feelings will one day leave, that I can actually truly feel God's peace, not only within my heart, but within my soul. Now, because of how I feel in my grief, always having these underlying feelings of anger, it is not fair to be irritable with someone or snap at someone. But I am now also becoming fully aware that this has happened and that this is happening. And I think it's important just to have that awareness that if you are snapping or if you are irritable or angry, these are pieces of grief. And it's something that we really need to reflect on and pray about and reposition our heart, that we should not be putting that out on other people, especially the people that we love. I am totally guilty of that, and I am working on that. I love how my friend said, do not let your son Diedrich be the reason for division and disaster happening in your life or trying to happen in your life. Do not allow the enemy to have Diedrich's departure to be the reason of problems. I just love that, because when you shift that perspective of your loved one's homegoing being the cause of how you are each and every day, or the reason for the departure of being how you are each and every day, it shifts that perspective for you. And you don't want to portray disaster and division, but you want to portray love and goodness, because that's who they are in your life, if that makes sense to you. But with Diedrich's departure and with your loved one's departure, we want to use love and strength and wisdom that only comes from God. I mean, I hope I have reflected God's love and grace since Diedrich's homegoing, but I do know that with all the distractions of this world, you can easily just slip unknowingly, steering off of God's will for your life. It's just crazy how things in your everyday life can cause you to get off of your straight and narrow path that God has created for you. You don't even realize it's happening. That's how sneaky Satan is. That's how sneaky, the enemy is, and weaseling their way into our life and just slowly taking you off God's path for you until you're like off the path and you're like, what just happened? How did I get here? But I love how my devotional today spoke of how our everyday moment in our life brings us both joy and celebration and grief and sorrow. And with all of these feelings that we feel each and every day, it's important for us to examine our hearts and to see what's causing our heart to be joyful and what's causing our heart to be sad. And then asking, is this grief and joy aligned with God's will for my life? So it really helped me just examine my own heart and really think about the things that give me joy every day. Like, you look past at your week, you're like, that was a good week. What made it a good week? Was it a certain thing that you bought? Was it your family and the love that you build your life around? I mean, what is it exactly? Is it walking on a sunny day with the breeze? We just thank God for his transforming grace within us always at work. Whatever it is that is giving us joy in our life, or whatever it is that is causing us sadness and grief in our life, God is continually transforming us and working in our life through this. And I just love the Apostle Paul in what he says in Colossians chapter 1, verse 5. There is hope laid up for you in heaven. What a wonderful and beautiful promise that God has for us through Christ Jesus. And I know I need to keep my focus on heaven and what God has in store. I know Diedrich is already up ahead, that your loved one is already in heaven, up ahead, there, already in God's glory. And this has been something whispered to me actually since my grief started with Diedrich's homegoing. Jesus just always has sweetly whispered to me, keep your eyes on me. I mean, because it's just so easy for us just to feel and see the world around us and then become anxious and can then spiral into this dark hole. It's just really easy for us to do that. I have done it plenty of times, especially over the last 2 years, but also throughout my life. It's just very easily to be distracted and to, fall off and just focus on the crashing waves in the world around you. But then Jesus sweetly whispers to you, keep your eyes on me. Keep your eyes on me, and everything will fall into place. Now, am I okay with Diedrich? How quick he went and how soon he went? No, I am not okay with that. But I continue to trust God, even though I'm not okay with the will for my life with my son leaving. I'm not okay with it, but I love God and I trust him. With time, I know my longing is just to be at peace with it, and not just within my heart, but also in my spirit. I don't think I'm completely 100% at peace, but I know with God's grace and with his work and with time, that is my longing. And I do believe in God's work each and every day in my life and in your life. I believe in that. He is actually always in our path in front of us, 2 steps ahead, working for our good. And so every time you feel the breeze touching your face, maybe the warm glow of the sun on your skin, or just God's gentle creation around you, such as his birds singing, or the squirrels climbing up and down those trees, or those deer that are just gently looking at you in that path that you're walking. This is God's love for you. And our loved ones in his creation are reminding us on how loved we are and how close the heavens are all around us. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. I continue to pray for you each and every time I hit record, that my podcast is speaking to you, and that not just my podcast, but that God is speaking to you through my podcast. I'm just a vessel. I am not my own, but I am his. And friend, you are his. You are loved. You were created for a purpose. And don't forget, you are worthy. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you rate the podcast a 5-star? This will help the algorithm in spreading the gospel to others and to fulfill God's kingdom. Hey, please drop me a message or a question or a comment to me personally or on the podcast, and please share with a friend or family member if this speaks to you. Thank you for being here and blessing me, and don't forget, you are worthy.